Yepers.
I made it because I'm not saying I made it. I'm saying I made music because I wanted to.
Someone being an overnight success means they achieved success incredibly quickly, but Billie Eilish really did become a hit in a single night. After uploading her song Ocean Eyes to SoundCloud, she awoke the next day to find it had gone viral and everyone wanted to hear more. But what was Billie's life like before she made it big? We'll talk about the evolution of this incredible star and what she had to overcome to be the star she is today. You just might have a whole new appreciation for Billie when you learn the truth about her amazing journey. Let's start out by talking about Billie Eilish's name and how it's even stranger than you might think. First of all, yes, her first name is really Billie, and it's not short for William or anything else. Her full name is Billie Eilish Pirate Baird O'Connell, and yes, we're sure. Eilish is actually her middle name, but it was originally going to be Pirate until one family member had an objection. Her uncle claimed that since pirates have a rather negative reputation, it wasn't an appropriate name for his niece. So a compromise was reached and Pirate got pushed a little further down her line of names. Then there's Baird, which is her mother Maggie's maiden name. The O'Connell, as you've probably guessed by now, is her father Patrick's last name. Eilish might sound a bit unusual, but it's actually the Gaelic version of Elizabeth. With a name like Pirate Baird O'Connell, it's no wonder she decided to err on the side of brevity when she hit it big. Or considering pirate is part of her name, maybe we should say she decided to err on the side of caution. Billie grew up in the Highland Park area of Los Angeles, which has a reputation for being one of the nicer neighborhoods.
Home is Los Angeles, Highland Park.
But Billie claims that while it may be popular now, it was anything but that while she was growing up. Many people believe she grew up experiencing a posh life of privilege, but Billie says that's not true. In fact, it wasn't unusual for her to hear bullets being fired nearby while she was at home. Thankfully, things have changed, and Billie describes her home as very homey and very comfortable. While Billie might have fond memories of growing up there, it's one aspect of her early life which may raise some eyebrows. She shared a bed with both of her parents and her older brother until she was about 10 years old, and the family dispensed with that sleeping arrangement. Even though her family didn't live in the nicest neighborhood, they did their best to make the inside of their house joyous. Billie's parents are entertainers who love music, so her house was always full of singing and making songs. It's not uncommon for people to ask Billie when she first got interested in music, but to her, it's as natural to her as breathing. The fact that some people aren't constantly singing with their family actually seems quite alien to this star. Of course, lots of families sing together, but that doesn't mean they're particularly good at it. Hey, it's all about having fun, right? But Billie had a great amount of natural talent, which was quickly refined as she grew up. When she was 8 years old, she joined a choir where she learned techniques to help her sound better and protect her voice from strain and overuse. While her father helped her learn how to play instruments, Billie says she learned how to play the piano and ukulele mostly on her own. Her mother is a songwriter and taught Billie how to write her own music. The bar has always been set insanely high for this star, but she's always been able to exceed everyone's wildest expectations. Some kids struggle with deciding what they want to do when they grow up, and to be fair, it's a huge question. Heck, a lot of adults aren't sure what they want to do with their lives. But for Billie, it was always an absolute certainty that writing and performing music was her calling, and she wouldn't let anything stand in her way. But Billie isn't the only musical mind in her family. Her older brother Phineas O'Connell has helped her throughout her musical career, and the two of them are incredibly close. Billie has referred to having a brother like Phineas as having a built-in best friend. And since the two siblings were homeschooled, they ended up spending a ton of time together. Because Phineas is older, Billie admits she's always looked up to her brother. He's been the metric against which she judges herself and her own music. Their parents believed in having a practical curriculum based on learning real-world skills instead of studying out of books. For example, Billie and Phineas learned about math from helping their mother cook, and their studies involved lots of fun and practical activities. Billie loved being homeschooled, but that's not to say she's against more traditional forms of education. She claims that teenagers are more well-informed now than they have ever been before, and it's a shame people don't listen to them more often. Billie believes if she had attended a public school, it would be more difficult for her to be taken seriously, which she says is a shame. It's easy to look at Billie Eilish and be intimidated by how incredibly talented she is. Seriously, how does she manage to look so cool in a giant pair of sweats? But one of the awesome things about Billie is she knows there's enough praise to go around. She says people get caught up in the idea that you need to have a studio in order to get started, but music can be created anywhere. In fact, many of her songs were thought up while she was just hanging out with her brother in his bedroom.
Like, do it wherever you can. Like, make it in a closet.
She credits being homeschooled with learning how to express herself and see the value in her own work. In addition to growing up to love music, Billie was also raised as a strict vegetarian. She actually loves to eat tofu, especially when it's incorporated into Indian cuisine. Billie loves anything spicy and admits that burritos are her favorite food and most common indulgence. In 2014, Billie decided to take things to the next level and go full-on vegan. Billie believes one of the benefits of a plant-based diet is lessening the impact of humans on the environment. She is determined to save the world one tofu burrito at a time. Okay, maybe not quite save the world, but this star definitely wants to do her part and we love her for it. But music and food aren't the only interests Billie has. When she was younger, she loved to dance, go horseback riding, and make arts and crafts. As you could probably imagine, her art was nothing short of elaborate, and she loved creating costumes for herself and her friends. While her friends might describe her as determined, Billie fully admits to being unbelievably bossy when she was younger. But really, it's that insistence on doing things her way which has made Billie such a star. She knows it would be easy at this point to hire a stylist, a songwriter, and let other people manage her life and career. But Billie insists on doing these things herself and bringing her authentic self and music to the masses. There was a time when Billie was quite focused on dancing, but tragedy prevented her from being able to pursue it as a career. Billie claims she's always getting injured and has even managed to hurt her foot while sleeping before. She just kept getting injured again and again while dancing and eventually had to scale way back on one of her favorite hobbies. While this was sad at the time, it was actually the turning point for her eventual musical career. Her brother, Phineas, has begun to get more serious about his own music and was willing to devote his creativity to help out his sister. Her dance instructor also wanted to help Billie stay involved and asked her to create a song he could choreograph a dance to. Billie took the task seriously, and with some help from Phineas, ended up recording a little ditty you might know as Ocean Eyes. Well, you know the story from there. Billie uploaded the song, became famous almost overnight, and went on to revolutionize the music industry. But how have things changed in the day-to-day life of this star? Many of us have dreamed of being famous, and Billie herself admits to this as well. She says she would sometimes lay awake at night and cry out of fear that she would never realize her dream of becoming a performer. But the reality of becoming famous is far different than she had imagined, and she had some trouble getting used to it. At first, Billie says she was in denial about her fame and its impact on her life. She would just conduct her life normally, but couldn't even run errands without being recognized by excited fans. It's clear that the time when she could pass as relatively anonymous is long over, and Billie admits that took some getting used to. In addition, she also knows things are going to continue to change as time goes on. Her brother Phineas has been there for her since day one, but Billie knows he won't always be able to accompany her on tour. He and her other friends have their own lives, and Billie knows they don't stop when she goes on tour. Perhaps it's a comfort for Billie that even though she may be away from her friends and family, her fans are incredibly passionate about their favorite star. That's something Billie can appreciate since she's been known to get up close and personal with some of her own favorite performers. At a concert, some people enjoy the more laid-back approach of watching and listening from a comfortable distance. Then there are the people who prefer to get close to the stage, even if it means getting uncomfortably close to their fellow concert goers. And then we have Billie, who loves nothing more than getting right in the middle of a mosh pit or even taking things to the next level. She admits to leaping over the fence from the general admission section to the VIP area in order to get closer to Lil Wayne and Tyler the Creator. In fact, Billie says one of the drawbacks of fame is not being able to get right into the thick of the action at concerts. Because of her fame, it's a serious security concern, and it also changes the vibe since everyone is focused on her instead of what's happening up on stage. At her shows, Billie likes to get as close as possible to her audience, going as far as reaching out and touching them in order to form a connection. And to say her fans respond well to this might be the understatement of the century. Even Foo Fighters frontman Dave Grohl can't stop singing her praises and claims his daughters got him into Billie's music. He admires the impact she has on her fans and likens her influence to his previous band, Nirvana. Yeah, that might just be the greatest musical compliment of all time. But of course, being famous isn't all accolades from Dave Grohl. There are some definite downsides besides not being able to go to the grocery store without being recognized. Billie has stated that while she loves being open with her fans, she does enjoy keeping parts of her life private. One of the reasons she wears such baggy clothing is to reduce the possibility that people could make negative comments on her body. But that hasn't stopped some people who felt the need to weigh in on what Billie looks like, and her fans were not here for it. When one person decided to make some unkind remarks about Billie, her fans immediately stepped in to defend her. Although we love her fans defending her, Billie says that in general, she's okay with being judged. In fact, it's interesting for her to learn how other people perceive her. Billie's confident that she's the only one who truly knows herself, so what other people are judging isn't based on the real Billie. That's definitely a level of confidence we should all aspire to. What do you think about what Billie Eilish has gone through in order